welcome. If you're in a caregiving role, offering your time, your energy, and really your heart to support someone you love, please know this space is for you. Today, we'll gently reflect on the unique challenges caregivers face and explore how you can care for yourself with the same compassion you offer others. So, today we're diving into a topic that, well, it touches so many lives, but it often stays kind of hidden, the world of caregiving. You, as a caregiver, you pour so much into others. And while that role is, yeah, filled with deep meaning and connection, it also brings these unique and frankly, immense demands. Our mission today is to gently unpack what those demands truly are, the challenges beneath the surface, and then really importantly, explore pathways to support yourself with the same profound care you give your loved ones. So, maybe to start, what are some of these underlying challenges that caregivers like you are navigating, maybe every single day?
Yeah, it's true. The dedication is just immense. But the toll, it can be surprisingly deep. What we often see is a state people call caregiver fatigue. And this isn't just, feeling tired after a long day. It's more of a profound, chronic state of stress and exhaustion that just builds up cumulatively. Like, imagine carrying a weight that just subtly gets heavier each day until you suddenly realize it's become almost unbearable. The emotional side, for instance, that can be really complex, unexpectedly so. When you're watching a loved one struggle feelings like deep sadness, maybe even grief, well, those are common. But often what's maybe less talked about are those moments of, say, frustration or that quiet sense of helplessness when you just wish you could change things you can't control. It can be incredibly emotionally draining, like your empathy well is just constantly being tapped, leaving you feeling completely depleted. This emotional burden is very real, and often it feels quite isolating too. And then, of course, there are the physical demands. These can be relentless and sometimes surprising in just how intense they are. Assisting with daily activities, maybe helping with mobility, lifting, managing all the household tasks, or keeping track medication schedules. These aren't just little chores. They require significant physical effort. And without enough rest, which, let's be honest, so many caregivers just don't get, it leads to this pervasive physical fatigue that just seeps into every part of your life. It's not just a tired body. It's like your body is perpetually running on empty. Something else that's interesting and often missed is the subtle way personal space and time can just sort of erode. Caregiving duties can end up consuming almost all your personal time, leaving very little room for your own pursuits or social connections. And this isn't just about missing a party here or there. It can lead to a really profound sense of isolation. It can make you feel disconnected from friends, from hobbies, even from parts of your own identity that were there before caregiving became so central. It's like your personal world starts to shrink slowly, almost without you noticing. And naturally, we have to touch on the financial stress. This can be a hidden but really heavy burden. It's not just about medical bills, which can definitely be substantial. A key thing here is often the double hit many caregivers experience. Increased expenses plus reduced work hours, or sometimes leaving jobs altogether. This isn't usually just the temporary strain. It can lead to longer-term financial erosion that affects the whole family's stability. It adds this constant background hum of anxiety. And finally, there's that pervasive feeling of role overload. Many caregivers aren't just caregivers. You might also be juggling a career or raising kids or managing other family responsibilities. Trying to balance caregiving with all these other significant roles, it leaves you feeling perpetually stretched thin, like you're constantly trying to be in multiple places at once and maybe never quite succeeding fully anywhere. It's that overwhelming sense of wearing too many hats and just not having enough hands or time for all of them.
Wow, that's a truly stark but really honest picture you've painted there. It just highlights how much caregiving demands from you emotionally, physically, even in terms of your personal life and financial stability. You describe this caregiver fatigue, the emotional weight, the physical toll, the isolation, the financial pressure, and that feeling of being stretched to your absolute limit. And it's so important for you listening right now to hear that these feelings are not only normal, but they are shared by countless others walking the same path. You are really not alone in these struggles. So, okay, knowing these challenges are so profound, what's the next crucial step then? Where can you find the sustained, meaningful support you need to navigate them? Because it's one thing to recognize the struggles, right? But it's another thing entirely to find ways through them that actually nourish you.
That's exactly it. Finding that essential support is the vital next step. Seeking professional guidance, maybe through therapy or counseling, can provide a truly safe and confidential environment, a place where you can start to unpack these burdens. It's a dedicated space just for you, away from the constant demands of your caregiving role, a place where you don't have to be strong for anyone else. This space can really feel like a sanctuary. And within that supportive environment, the focus first and foremost is often on emotional validation, A therapist offers this genuinely non-judgmental space where you can openly share every feeling, the sadness, the frustration, maybe unexpected joy, the deep exhaustion, without worrying about being a burden or being misunderstood. It's a place to have your emotions truly seen and heard, which honestly in itself is profoundly healing. But it's not just talking. This guidance also equips you with practical stress management techniques. You can learn tools like mindfulness, which helps you sort of anchor yourself in the present moment, especially amidst chaos, or relaxation exercises to calm your nervous system, and approaches like acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. With ACT, the interesting insight is it's not about getting rid of difficult feelings. It's more about learning to acknowledge them without letting them completely control you. For a caregiver, that might mean accepting feelings of guilt about taking a short break, but committing to that action of self-care anyway, because it aligns with your deeper value of being a sustainable, present caregiver. It's a really powerful shift, moving from fighting your feelings to acting on your values. What's truly transformative, I think, is how this guidance helps in building resilience. It's not about making you impervious to stress, because that's not realistic. It's about equipping you with skills to bounce back more effectively. You develop strategies to set healthy boundaries. Learning it's genuinely okay to say no sometimes or to ask for help, and you learn to address those unhelpful thought patterns. You're the ones that can trap you in cycles of worry or guilt. It really emphasizes committing to consistent self-care practices. These are absolutely crucial for your sustained well-being and for fostering genuine inner growth. This isn't just about coping day to day. It's about building a deeper well of strength within yourself. This kind of support is also vital for proactively preventing burnout. With guidance, you can learn to recognize the early, maybe subtle signs of exhaustion before you hit rock bottom. This self-awareness then empowers you to take proactive steps like delegating tasks where possible or seeking respite care. It helps you regain a sense of balance before that fatigue becomes completely overwhelming and depleting. It's about being proactive in protecting your own energy reserves. And finally, one key area where this guidance can be really transformative is in enhancing communication. Caregiving often involves constant interaction with medical professionals, social workers, other family members, all with their own perspectives and roles. Refining your communication skills can make these interactions much more effective, less overwhelming, and help ensure your loved one's needs, and importantly, your own needs, are clearly understood and advocated for. It's about feeling more empowered, even in complex or frustrating situations.
That's fascinating. So it sounds like you're describing much more than just coping strategies. It's really about creating a personal sanctuary, isn't it? A space where you can truly process everything you're going through, find that emotional support, learn practical tools, and ultimately build your strength and resilience. The idea of cultivating this kind of inner safe haven for, profound personal growth, even amidst the chaos, it feels almost counterintuitive for someone stretched so thin. What's maybe the very first, perhaps the simplest step a caregiver can take towards building that sanctuary when they just feel completely overwhelmed?
That's a wonderful question. And it really brings us to those daily acts of self-compassion. Because while dedicated support is vital, your everyday practices are like your anchors. First and foremost, take breaks. And honestly, we mean any kind of break. Even very brief moments of rest scattered throughout the day can make a significant difference. It could be just 5 minutes to step outside and feel the sun on your face, maybe listen to a favorite song, or just sit quietly with a warm cup of tea. These small pauses, they help reset your mind and body, preventing that continuous buildup of stress. It's about creating tiny islands of peace in your day. Next, actively build connections. Caregiving can be so intensely isolating, so engaging with support groups or even just trusted friends is incredibly important. Sharing your experiences with others who genuinely understand, it can provide immense relief, reduce those feelings of being alone, and often offer fresh perspectives you might not have thought of. You start to realize you're part of a larger community, and that shared experience brings real comfort and strength. It's a reminder that you don't have to carry this whole burden by yourself. And prioritize your own health. Now, this might sound obvious, but it's often the very first thing that falls by the wayside when things get busy. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, trying to get sufficient sleep. These aren't luxuries. They are absolutely foundational to your physical and mental energy. Even a short walk, choosing a nutritious meal over something quick, or just aiming for an extra hour of sleep when you possibly can. It can significantly impact your capacity to care for yourself and for others. Your well-being directly affects your ability to sustain your role. It brings that vital clarity to your day. Another crucial point is learning to set boundaries. This is really about affirming that it is entirely okay. In fact, it's necessary to say no sometimes when your capacity is full. You simply cannot pour from an empty cup. Protecting your energy means recognizing your limits and communicating them kindly but firmly. This isn't selfish, it's truly an act of self-preservation that ultimately benefits everyone involved. It's about giving yourself permission to honor your own needs, which really fosters that inner growth. And finally, please remember to celebrate the small wins. In the midst of what can feel like overwhelming demands, it's so easy to lose sight of the positive impact of your efforts. Take a moment, consciously, to acknowledge and appreciate the small successes, maybe a peaceful moment shared with your loved one, a task completed with care, even just a shared smile. Recognizing these moments, no matter how tiny they seem, reminds you of the inherent worth and the deep meaning in what you do. It brings a sense of accomplishment and helps maintain a more positive outlook, which nourishes your resilience.
These are such vital reminders. They really help bring, I think, a profound sense of clarity to how we can be gentle with ourselves daily. It's about weaving self-compassion into the very fabric of your life, isn't it? Not just saving it for some imagined future where things might be easier. As you listen to this, maybe you could just reflect on one small, gentle step you could take today, or perhaps this week. One little break, one connection you could make, one boundary you could set just to nurture yourself. You really deserve that compassion.
And perhaps consider this thought, the compassion you so generously extend to others. Think of it as a deep well. To keep that well full and to continue offering that meaningful care day after day, you absolutely must tend to yourself first. Your capacity for care is directly linked to your capacity for self-care. It's not selfish at all. It's essential for your sustained resilience and ultimately for the well-being of everyone you touch.
Thank you so much for taking this time to yourself today. Remember, caring for others truly begins with caring for you. You deserve rest, you deserve support, and you deserve moments of peace along the way. Until we meet again, please be gentle with yourself. You are doing something truly meaningful.